10 local time for those of you that want to come to the event, and it'll be 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Well, Thayer, who has started every match so far, has won both in the semifinal.
18 strikes coming into this, his third game. Now, 37-year-old Bob Benoit, he of the 300 fame in his very first television tournament. 3 titles to his credit. Best finish this year, 4th in the Tums Classic in Hartford. Trying for a little body English to get that 10-pin to go.
Benoit with just an ideal style for today's contemporary lane conditions. Got that cupped wrist. Look at how far back he has that ball in his wrist. Look at that left shoulder back. Everything in excellent position. Follow through directly towards the target. Doesn't get a break on the 10-pin.
Bob Benoit will never forget in 1988 his very first victory with a 300 to Mark Roth's 255, and Jeannie Halsey and Grand Prairie won't forget it either.
We see how much hook Benoit throws. He stands to the extreme left, and this is a pretty slick lane condition. He's going to be between the 3rd and 4th arrows. He has a very good style. He's going to throw it almost down the center and send it out to the edge. This is the lane that hangs a little bit.
Bob liked it. Usually don't show much emotion. He seems loose today. He's had a good week.
The head pin does the work. Watch the head pin come in behind the 2-pin and trip it out. Great break.
Good break for Mark-Thayer. Sort of the gesture that Michael Jordan made the other night after hitting all those 3-pointers.
Well, that was more than a 3-pointer for Thayer, because if he can convert the 2-8 into a strike there in the second, as he got on a good break, and make a strike here in the third, it becomes a 20-pin shot instead of a 3-point shot.
And then reality set in.
An ugly break. I mean, Thayer, with all his power, should never leave the 5-7. All he has to do is get the ball to the right of the 5 and slide it into a 7. For a down and in player, I say a conventional player throws it fairly straight, not a tough shot. But for Thayer, much more difficult because of the sharp angle of his hook.
So the door has been opened early, Bob Benoit. Strike up, shooting in the 3rd. Can take a 14-pin lead. Again a 10.
Same shot that Benoit had in the first frame, hits a little bit light and gets caught in between. Now watch how he shoots his 10-pin. We saw that cupped wrist in his profile, but watch how he flattens that wrist out to convert the 10. He's an excellent spare shooter. Technique is the key. Look at that nice flat wrist, cut down the hook, and that's the way to play the spare shot.
Last year, Bob Benoit earned $116,000 as we look at his wife, Lorinda Benoit, who, when he's not bowling, helps us a great deal. Bob Benoit told us about the kind of tournament he prefers.
Well, I prefer a little higher scoring tournament. I'm not the kind of player that exactly hit 1 or 2 boards, and I need a little bit more easier lane condition to get to the pocket, and when I seem to strike as much as any of the other guys out here can.
That time the 10 did go. We're in our semifinal match of the Oregon Open. Benoit and Thayer. More of it after Mark-Thayer, after an open frame 4th. And that he needed badly. Right, Bo?
You're right, Chris, and our tournament leader, who is quickly becoming one of the best bowlers in the world, our Del Ballard Jr., one of your best friends out there, your doubles partner, Bob Benoit. Do you prefer to bowl him in the final?
It doesn't really matter who I bowl. I don't have any friends when I step on the approach anyway, so it's just me against my opponent, and it doesn't matter who it is.
All business when it comes to that paycheck, Chris. Back to you.
How true. And Mark-Thayer now. I think Mark was pointing to his ear, must have heard some extraneous noises there, but he struck nonetheless. Now with a double up, or rather with a strike up here, is Bob Benoit on the right lane. The Southern California Open. That's right. Next Saturday, we'll be covering the finals of that at our regular time at 3 Eastern, 2 Central, 3 Pacific. So join us here as we continue the Professional Bowlers Tour. About to end our 31st year.
Benoit, 6 frame, can extend his lead to 14 with 1 more strike. Once again, the half 10. Look at Benoit's game, the half 10 as we call it, where the 6 pin doesn't quite bounce up against the 10 pin in the 1st frame, 3rd frame, and 6th frame. However, by converting all the spares, he has maintained a 3 pin lead through 6 frames.
Benoit last year, 5 telecasts, 116,000. This is only his second in 1992, but he has earned 44,675. Now, Mark-Thayer can take the lead with a strike here, double working. 23 strikes this afternoon thus far, Bo.
Boy, oh boy, Chris, did he bushwhack that rack. I mean, it looked like 10 or 12 pins were flying across the lane as he caught it all. First time that Thayer has really gotten loose in a championship round and showcasing his talent. He can take a 17-pin lead with 1 more strike here in the 7th.
Mark-Thayer, 34 years old, native of Lafayette, Indiana. Want to see something beautiful?